What's good, y'all, and welcome to my review for this week's episode of My Hero Academia Season 6. Another fucking banger episode this was, guys. I absolutely love this episode. Obviously, Best Girl had a lot of screen time, which is always a plus. As I always say, man, whenever Best Girl has screen time, no matter how small it is a good day. And today was a very good day indeed. Don't appreciate them blue balling me like that. And with the next episode preview, focusing obviously on Dabi, it kind of makes me wonder if the Uraraka fight is going to be pushed back to like maybe the episode afterwards, or maybe that'll be like the opening of the episode, and then it'll flip like for like the first like 5 maybe 10 minutes of the episode. The first half of the episode will be that, and then the rest will be on Dabi. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see on that. I just don't appreciate Bones blue balling me. Like, they vote all, like, they have the shots with Uraraka, and then I'm like, oh shit, Uraraka and Toru to go at it. That's going to be a great matchup. And then they just ended right there, bro. They just blue ball you complete, bro. I did not appreciate that. But what I did appreciate this episode from Bones is, of course, that animation. And man, the animation of this episode was really good. I just love how everyone was like, oh, Hero Walk is a slideshow. The production's collapsed. Everyone was acting like Bones turned out that like Seven Deadly Sins season 3 or something, when the animation was on par and consistent with the rest of the season. Whatever, bro. I have said my piece. I don't want to spend a lot. I won't spend like the opening of this video and just a lot of the time just me ranting and bitching about the Hero Waka fandom. I have done that countless times in these videos, so I won't repeat myself. But yeah, that shit annoyed me. And yeah, this episode was just awesome, man. I loved it. A lot of good shit in it. Let's just jump right in, man. Also, guys, a couple things I want to talk before we jump right into the actual episode. I almost forgot to talk about. One, Hero Waka Season 6 has been confirmed to be debuting on Toonami this weekend. Tonight, we will be seeing Season 6 of Hero Waka on Toonami, which obviously I was super excited for, super excited. Glad to see Peak once again returning to my Saturday nights. Seriously, bro, I was so happy when I found this out that we weren't going to get Season 6, because you guys know I was kind of concerned with them randomly just doing like a rerun of season 5 for the last like 3 or 4 episodes. A couple weeks ago, I was kind of like, oh, is this something to do with Waka? Is this just a placeholder until they fully secure Bleach? What's the case may be. I guess it was just to just get us prepared for season 6, remind us of what happened. Which is kind of strange because they didn't do this for like season 4, they didn't do this for season 3. Although I think season 3 and 1 through 3, when they all aired at one go, if I remember correctly, that's when they just got the rights. That's when they finally got the rights to it, if I remember correctly. But yeah, thought that was kind of a little weird. But hey, we got Hero Waka season 6. I guess that means I still think Bleach will be coming to Toonami. It's probably maybe not until after Main Abyss. Because if they got Hero Waka now, we're probably not going to see Bleach for a minute. I don't know what to wait to see, but I do think Bleach will eventually make its return to Toonami whenever that case may be. I do think we will see the Blood War anime on Toonami sometime soon. Maybe after Main Abyss is finished. Secondly, guys, the episode discussion video that I told you guys I was going to work, that I was making last week in my review, is already up on the channel by the time this review goes up, so you guys can check that video out if you guys are curious. Remember, if I'll leave it up in the iCards above for you guys to check out if you're curious. Anyway, now let's jump right into the actual episode. Now, one thing I thought was cool about the opening of this episode, because the episode begins with the usual recap before it cuts right to the OP that we gave throughout the rest of the series. But one thing I thought was pretty cool with this one is that we see Shigaraki firing off his tendrils coming towards Izuku, and like right before Baka goes in there to save him and take the hit, they like cut right to the OP, which I thought was pretty cool. I thought that was a nice little editing thing they did for the opening OP. I thought that was pretty cool. So once the episode actually does begin, we get a couple new angles of of Baka getting stabbed, and we see Izuku. He's got a computer like, Gah! And this line from Bako, I just thought was real, just couldn't help but make me laugh because of how rich it is. Because Bako tells Izuku, stop thinking about defeating him on your own, which I thought was incredibly rich coming out from him, because as I mentioned in my episode discussions for this season, last season, shameless plug, check those videos out if you haven't. But I thought it was just funny because Baku's, for like a majority of the series, has always been like, solo guy, I want to do everything myself, fuck teammates, I can do it all by myself. I just found it incredible words that Baku's now telling Izuku the exact same thing, to stop doing that, which I just thought that was funny, man. So Bakugo begins to fall, but Todoroki manages to grab him and I guess take him back down to safety with Endeavor. And I gotta say, I love the little sound effect they play as Shigaraki's tendrils started to disappear. I thought that sound effect was really cool, man. I really took the sound effect they had for that scene. Then we get to Izuku as my man starts seething with rage, man. You could see him on the verge of going Super Saiyan, bro. This scene was awesome, man. This was absolutely incredible. So Shigaraki, along with All For One, says there's been too much unnecessary bloodshed in this battle. Izuku says, unnecessary. And we get flashbacks to, of course, him punching, Gran Torino, him clawing at Aizawa's face, and of course what just happened with Bakugo. We then get I don't know if this is a flashback back to season 5 when Izuku talked with the Blackwood user. I can't remember for certain. You guys can tell me down below in the comments if this is like a new scene or if this was from season 5. Either way, he tells him that if you follow your anger, your power will follow, and it'll all come down to control your heart. So then that's when Izuku, my boy, as you can see, Blackwood start to envelop him. This is when my boy goes off. And Bones, they did my man good, bro. I know the manga readers were bitching and complaining, oh, these shots look terrible. Oh my god, they ruined the series. Mind you, okay, I gotta say something real quick. And this is gonna be the only time I'll be ranting throughout this review, I promise, because this is the only part that really bugged me. I don't know about y'all, but for some reason, when everyone was bitching about the next episode preview with these two shots, in particular the ones with Izuku, everyone for some reason was using 240p screenshots off a fucking Twitch stream, which I just thought was stupid. And then I saw comments when the preview stills released, like yesterday or the day before. They're like, "Oh, this actually looks really good." I'm like, "Oh, no shit! Maybe they'll look at 240p screenshots next time." Either way, that really bugged me. It just kind of perplexed me. Like, why are y'all using 240p screenshots? It's in the episode. Just use those. Whatever the case may be, I don't know what the hell was up with the manga readers. But anyway, Izuku starts coming right towards Shigaraki. Man is pissed off, and bro, the animation here looked absolutely fantastic. Shadows to Bones, man, they did an amazing job. Especially when we start getting some close up on Izuku's face, like right before he like bites down on his tendrils and like rips him up, man, bro, those shots go hard, bro. Shout outs to the animators that worked on this section of the episode, man. This was fucking awesome, man. I was losing my goddamn mind watching this, and like I said, the storyboarding, the animation here was fantastic. And also, shout out to Izuku's Japanese voice actor. His performance here was also great as well, man. So that was pretty cool, man. I absolutely that section was probably the highlight of the episode, man. That one was pretty cool. As he tells Shigaraki to take back what he says, and then that's when we started to see, like, I guess All For One's face starting to like come out of Shigaraki's face, and he grabs his face, and then of course starts to absorb One For All. But it doesn't quite work that way as we head into the inner world of One For All, where Izuku is then met with Shigaraki, with All For One basically mostly coming kind of mutated on top of him, like right next coming out of him. And I cannot wait to watch this episode when the dub of it dropped, because I loved All For One's dub voice, dub VA. So I'm really excited to see this episode with the dub cast, man, because I love his dub VA. I don't know who voices him off the top of my head, but he's been so good, man. I loved him in season 3, loved him in season 4, season 5. Every time All For One has screen time, man, he's always been a highlight, man. Funimation did an amazing job when they casted All For One's dub VA. So anyway, Shigaraki's of course telling All For One to fuck off and not come out, and then All For One tells like, oh, but if I wasn't there, you would have died, or you would have been burnt to earth. Even if you did survive that, you would have fallen to your death anyway. Either way, you would have died if I didn't save you, regardless. Izuku tries to come after him, but he instantly falls to the ground. And that's when Nana shows up, tells Izuku that he can't move yet in this world, and the rest of them will figure something out. We head over back to a news report woman commenting about Makia's destruction on his way to Jakku City. Maki also says that there's apparently 2 cents coming from Shigaraki. I'm assuming these 2 cents are either All For One and Shigaraki, because they're kind of like both have been like merged into one thing at the current moment against Izuku, or it could also just be Izuku and Shigaraki just because of how close they are. We'll have to wait and see on that, but I'm assuming it's probably All For One and Shigaraki, given they're all kind of like merging into one person now. Then we have Jakku. We have a bunch of heroes telling the heroes that they're going to leave the evacuation of the civilians in the evac team, as with the police, and the rest of them are going to go over to where basically where the trajectory is for Makia on his way to Jakku City, and try to take him out there, and of course rescue whatever civilians are in that area. We see that Sue's there along with Uraraka and along with Koda and the manga guy, which was actually kind of surprised to see him. Obviously, seeing Best Girl was obviously good to see. Y'all know I love Uraraka. But anyway, they start charging with the rest of them. Another one of the heroes tells Nejire and a couple of the heroes to go be their messengers because they can fly, and tell Endeavor the message, and tell him the message of them, helping out with trying to take care of Makia. And then actually Ida apparently joins with them, even though he can't fly. The dude's like, "Hey, dude, you can't fly. You'll get You'll be caught in the decay way and shit." And Ida, he don't care. He doesn't listen, and he continues on with Nejire. Nejire asks him why he's joined them, and basically he says that three of his friends haven't returned back yet, and that two of them are close friends that helped them realize the error of the ways, which includes some flashbacks back to season 2 in the Stain arc, which I thought was a nice callback to the Stain arc, man. I fucking love that arc, man. Honestly, I hope we see Stain again sometime soon in the anime in some form or fashion, man. He was such an amazing villain, man. He was really cool, man. I wish we got more time with him. Anyway, afterwards, we then head over back with Nana and Izuku, Nana and the others. And I'm pretty sure this is actually the first time you've ever actually seen Nana and Shigaraki actually like meet, properly like meet. Like obviously we had that one scene in his head a few weeks earlier on the season, but I'm pretty sure this is the first time they've actually like met, you know. So yeah, Nana finally gets to see her grandson, and he's destroying the world. I'm sure that was quite the interesting development for him. Anyway, and then I gotta say, all for one, my man Loki was Loki savage in this episode, bro. My man was Loki savage because he says, "Oh look, your pathetic grandma Nana Shimura is standing right there." I'm pretty sure he also calls her like a corpse or something, which I thought was pretty funny. Honestly, bro, I love All for One, man. He's awesome. Such an amazing villain. And that's when he tells us that what's going on currently, this little standoff going on between Izuku and Shigaraki, is the transfer, very similar to how organs are transplanted that, when people get an organ transplanted, their personality might slightly shift, as well as their interest because of the organs from different people being put into their body. And apparently, and that's due to like he also explains that this due is like cells, that the organs contain the cells of their previous owner, like their thoughts or something, which could also all add to this. And then we also get the interactive thing with All for One that kind of explains where something similar happens to him whenever he takes somebody's quirk, where in his dreams he'll have people whose the quirks he stole be berating him, and then whenever this happens, he feels upset when he has these dreams, and then he does feel guilt like any other normal person. But as soon as he gets rid of that person's quirk, they stop coming in his dreams, and he didn't realize the reasoning for this until he met the good doctor Garaki, where I mentioned before, organs and cells contain memories, and that's probably why not only why organ transplant users might have slightly different personalities or interests because after they have an organ transplant, but also why this is happening currently with Izuku and Shigaraki, and why All for One was having nightmares whenever he stole people's quirks. All for One's brother says they'll stay inside Izuku. He helps out with Nana, and they manage to fend him off, and the sky returns to its original color. Then All for One takes up more of Shigaraki's body. Now, basically, it looked like Shigaraki's mouth was covered up, maybe a little bit of his eyes as well. And he tells him that if Shigaraki and him work together, that they can seize his power. The ground starts to fall beneath them as All for One goes off about like Izuku failed to protect his friends, and now all you can't even move, and all you can do is just sit here and stare at us. And then, bro, All for One gives one of the best insults I have ever heard. Passing your power to this piece of worthless trash was your greatest mistake. I'm like, bro, damn, All for One, bro. Like I told y'all guys, but I gotta say it again, my man was straight savage in this episode, and I cannot wait to hear it in the dub. I also kind of hope instead of this piece of worthless trash in the dub, it says this piece of worthless shit. I think that just would work a little bit better, just to really sell it home, really to sell the insult if you said worthless piece of shit rather than piece of worthless trash. Excuse me. So yeah, either way, man. Love that line, man. That's a fucking insult if I've ever heard it, man. That is an insult I've ever heard. And the voice actor, once again, from All for One's Japanese voice actor was great as well. All for One's brother tells him that he doesn't understand what Izuku is fighting for. He rages for others, fights for others with every bit of strength he has. This young man has possessed an unyielding will to protect everyone. We will never leave it. That's when Nana and All for One's brother kind of like turn into like these purple and like white silhouettes before they turn into like those like lights in there, and we get the usual like where the lights are just going all over the place. It also looked pretty cool, honestly. I thought it looked really nice. And that's when Izuku finally starts to stand up and charges right towards Shigaraki. Now, the subtitles of right here says that Izuku says Shigaraki. Although you cannot make up a single word what he's saying in the actual episode from the audio. Like, if I didn't know that he said Shigaraki, I would have thought he was just muffling or screaming or something. So yeah, shout out to Izuku's Japanese VA man for that scene. I thought that his voice acting was great once again. And then once again, I love the little like light thing we got right before we transport back into like reality or whatever. I thought that also looked really cool as well. So then we see we're back after that we then see Shigaraki and Izuku basically falling in opposite directions as we see that Shigaraki wasn't able to obtain One for All, and All for One tells him to stay conscious, he must complete his body, and then he must fall back now and live to fight another day. And then Izuku finally succumbs to his injuries and passes out. We then get to the commercial cards, and I gotta say, bro, the commercial card we got for All for One, bro, that shit goes hard, bro. His render looks absolutely amazing, man. I love his render right there. And then we then head over back to the police headquarters as and the guys tell him like focus on everyone on rescuing civilians affected by Makia. Someone else says that they actually managed to arrest Garaki. He tells them to save that for later, and that he is heading to Jakku City at the speed of 100 kilometers, per hour, which I did the conversion for, and it was like 64, I believe it was 62 miles per hour. So yeah, either way, the man's going really fast, and he'll reach Jakku City in under 10 minutes. We see more of his destruction as we get back to Dabi and Skeptic, and we see he's on his laptop once again, and it seems like we kind of maybe now know why Dabi decided to bring him along, because he's on the computer checking the security cameras and everything, and tells him that Shigaraki is currently facing off against Endeavor. We then see Toga. She's looking out to the destruction of Makia is causing, and Mr. Compress asks her how is she holding up, and then we get an interesting line from Toga, and I kind of like what they did with what Horikoshi did with Toga in this episode, because she does bring up some fair points, where she says if heroes are supposed to save people, why didn't they treat Jin like a person? And obviously she's referring to the fact that Hawks killed him. Now, I thought this was interesting because she does bring have a point there, but also at the same time, Hawks did also try to save him, and he did treat Jin like a person. He did try to save him. He told him, like, I'll help you get back on your feet. Do your prison time, and I'll help you. But of course, no matter what Hawks did, he was left with no choice but to kill him. Obviously, Toga didn't see all of that. All she saw was the aftermath of Hawks impaling him. But I thought what they did with Toga in this episode, and this continues on once we get to the end of the episode when Toga and Uraraka have their little face-on, which I hope isn't the end of the fight, and we do see them actually like throw down a little bit, and they continue on this thing. Maybe in the next episode, the episode after that. I just thought that was really cool and interesting. And she says, like, since the heroes killed him, are they going to come after her next? And she'd like to ask them, referring to Izuku and Uraraka. And if she doesn't like their answer, then it doesn't matter. And so then we get back to more of the pros, trying to rush towards Makia's path of destruction, as we see that he's going through buildings, and like the buildings are actually causing more damage than he is because of all the debris going around there. And they say, they cry out, "Don't let the civilians suffer the consequences of our failure. Protect them with your lives." Blah blah blah. And so then we're back with Mr. Compress and Skeptic. Mr. Compress says, "Oh, satellite imagery, that could come handy." And then Skeptic says, "If this impresses you, you should feel ashamed of your level of knowledge." But I just thought it was funny, man. And anyway, Dabi tells him to get back to work before he burns him. So, like I said, I still don't really completely understand why Dabi bring him, but hopefully maybe next week we'll finally figure out what his grand plan was for bringing Skeptic along because that's going to be his episode is next week. I guess we'll have to wait and see on that. And then Mr. Compress notices something on the computer and tells him to zoom in, and that's when, of course, they find Uraraka and Sue. Toga's lies light up, and she starts shaking down Mr. Compress, telling him to get him her gear, which he does, which he manages to do. And we actually get a really nice scene that I like between her and Spinner, where that he says that you were not the only one affected by Twice's murder, and that the boss probably wanted us all to stay together. Recklessness is our gift, but still, you have to come back. I thought that was a nice little scene as she goes down his back to, of course, meet with her grand idol, Uraraka. No, seriously, man, I did really like this section of the episode, man, and I'm very excited to see Uraraka and Toga's fight, which I hope is actually going to be like a full-fledged fight, and that wasn't all we get. And maybe like the next episode or the episode after that. Anyway, we're then back with the civilians, the pros trying to get the civilians away from the path of destruction of Makia. Uraraka then sees this massive dust cloud like not too far off in the distance. So obviously Makia is very much closing in on them. And then that's when and then she overhears Sue, and then we see like this giant boulder as she's trying to get like these people out of this window coming right towards them. But Uraraka manages to come in clutch, gets them out of the way with her wires, and actually like apologizes for dragging them too hard, which I thought was funny. So we see Sue like descending the family members down using her tongue before this old woman comes out there crying her eyes out, help, I need your help, my husband is bedridden. And then Yusei Run starts playing. Literally, I gotta say, season 6 has been getting a lot of use out of Yusei Run. It's been playing a lot of times throughout these episodes. I honestly can't remember the last time this played. We heard Yusei Run this many times in the anime. It had to have been like season 1, maybe season 2, honestly. Like, it's been a minute since we've heard Yusei Run used this much. Bones is really beginning to use out of that track. So Uraraka obviously follows her. We get some flashbacks of her. She's saying she wants to help out as many people as possible. And then this woman starts sprinting like she's fucking Usain Bolt. And at this point, she's like, oh, of course I'm running fast. Taco loves me a lot. And at this point, after she like turns into an alley, I'm like, what if this is all, and I even mentioned to my reaction, like, what if this is like all Toga's plan? What if this is all set a trap by Toga? And almost exactly when I say that, bam, she transforms back into Toga, bro. Like, it was weird how close I got it, bro, to when Toga actually revealed herself. So then she hides into this little old school looking Japanese house. Now, and I gotta say, one thing I love the atmosphere of this place. Now, one thing that's been a common complaint I've heard about season 6, more specifically about the last couple of episodes, and how quote-unquote Bones ruined the Shigaraki fight, is because the sky is blue. People have been complaining about how the sky is blue and how it messes up with the entire atmosphere of the fight, which, I mean, like, to be fair, I guess, but at the same time, like, I've been so invested the rest of the season, I could give a fuck less what color the sky is. Either way, man, I love the atmosphere and the look of this house. Very much reminded me of a horror movie, classic J-horror. It honestly felt like I was watching The Grudge, honestly. It felt like I was rewatching The Grudge. I really loved how the house is predominantly in shadows. The house is kind of messy, you know, and the music here was fantastic as well, man. Seriously, like, I know people were kind of like hating on Bones about the atmosphere about the fight for the arc, most of it, but y'all can't tell me Bones didn't absolutely nail this section of the episode, man. They nailed the atmosphere of this house. And so as Uraraka slowly, cautiously makes her way inside, she doesn't even take her shoes off, though, which, I mean, come on, Uraraka, come on, you know the rules in Japanese. Don't take your goddamn shoes off, woman! I'm sorry, I had to. She starts hearing Toga's voice coming from all over the place, saying, I was hoping to have a chat with Sue as well. She's a beloved friend that means a lot to me. And I was going to say, I love the little echo they played for her voice as, Uraraka's trying to figure out where her voice is coming from. I thought it really just added to the creep factor of this section of the episode. This honestly was probably outside of the little bit with Izuku at the beginning of the episode when he was going off. This was probably my favorite part of the episode was this section here. You guys know how much I love my horror, especially J-horror, man. So obviously I was having a lot of fun watching the scene. So she continues on. I'd like to talk to Izuku too, and and then calls of course calls Uraraka cute, and she wants to be like her. And then that's when Toga comes out from the fucking roof of the building, comes right on top of Uraraka with a knife aimed at her throat, and asks her, "Am I going to get murdered like Jin? Or are you going to kill me?" And bro. My girl in this set. Oh, Horikoshi did my girl good, bro. I was happy to see my girl with such conviction with such conviction in her eyes and her voice, man. Shout out to Uraraka's Japanese voice actress, man. She was fantastic. I cannot wait to hear this with a dub cast, man. This is gonna be awesome. So continues on, ask her, what are you gonna do? And then my girl then tightens her grip on Toga and says, did you just show up just to ask me stupid questions? Did you take that old lady's blood just for that? Did you kill her just for that? I only want to say as many people say, no, bro, her facial expression, man, you can see the resolve in her face, man. Oh my God, it looked absolutely amazing, bro. A little hot if you ask me to. Had to. Y'all know how much I love Uraraka. had to sip on it a little bit, bro. I'm not gonna go as hard as I used to with Asuna, but I gotta say I like the shot of Uraraka, man. I don't know. I just like seeing her be seen so badass, man. It's just awesome to see, man. So then she like yeets her into like another room and declares if she gets in the way that she'll apprehend her right now. And that is where the episode ends. Bro, I was so pissed off right at the end of the fight, right when it was starting to get good. I'm like, all right, he's Uraraka, Toga, round 2, let's get it. Bam, credits. Bro, I was so salty. I am still salty right now, Lizzo. I don't appreciate Bones blue balling me like that with Uraraka. Like cliffhangers are one thing, but then you pull a cliffhanger with Uraraka, bro. No. Nah, bro, you don't do that to me, bro. You do not do me like that, bro. Come on, you don't play me like that with Uraraka, bro. Especially with how much you're posting about her in the preview stills and everything, bro. You don't do me like that, bro. Anyway, man. The episode was fantastic, man. I already talked about the next episode preview. Going to be focusing on Dabi. So yeah, like I said, I don't know because of how much of it was just focused on Dabi. If Dabi's just going to be the focus of the entire episode, while the Uraraka fight's going to get moved to the following episode, or it's going to be this thing where like maybe the second half is going to be about Toga or about Dabi, while the first half will be about Uraraka, or they'll be shifting back and forth between the two during the episode. We will have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, either way, man, I'm fucking hyped. I'm fucking ecstatic for the next episode. It is going to be absolutely legendary, man. And yeah, so we'll finally know if Dabi is indeed Toya next week. We have been theorizing about this for a couple seasons now. And yeah, I'm very excited, man. Also, speaking of theories, I almost forgot to mention this. One thing I found kind of, because last week, because I watched a bunch of episodes, a few other videos talking about the last episode, because they just popped up my recommend, and I was like, fucking, let's see. Thankfully, they were mostly positive. I didn't really run into anyone where it's like, oh, Bones sucks. Bones fucking fell off or whatever. Seriously, man, I'm sick and tired of all the Bones slander, man. We do not deserve Bones, man. We do not deserve them. Anyway, they brought up one of the dudes I watched brought up this interesting theory about what if Gran Torino is actually Shigaraki's granddad? Because we've seen how close they have been and how they've been kind of like been together a lot from the little bits of the flashes we got. And of course, he said that it was what if our decision was like a mistake or whatever about them getting rid of her son so that he could be safe away from All for One, and which is something I never thought about before then. But then when he was brought up, and I thought about it, I was like, oh shit. Yo, that actually could work. Yo, you actually might be onto something there. I thought that was interesting, man, because that's, like I said, that's something that never crossed my mind, was that if Gran Torino could actually be Shigaraki's granddad, that would add a lot to their interaction we have gotten so far, and the line of him saying, stop desecrating Nana's legacy or whatever. So, yeah, that's interesting. That's something I never thought about, but after I hear it, I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, that might actually be real. But yeah, we'll have to wait. I don't know if that'll ever get revealed. We'll find out if these two did have any more of the connection. Because I always thought they were just like partners. I never once thought that they had any romantic feelings for each other at all. But who knows? We'll have to wait and see on that, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, or maybe not. Maybe Horikoshi will never answer that question. That'll always be a question of whether or not they were together. They were a thing, and they were a couple, and he is his granddad or whatever. But regardless of such, man, this episode was fucking incredible, man. I cannot wait for next week's episode. It's going to be absolutely legendary, man. Looking forward to that one. Hopefully the Toga fight will be in that one as well. And I don't got to wait like 2 weeks for more Uraraka screen time, man. But we'll have to wait and see on that. Because I actually have seen one of the manga pages, one of the manga panels from that fight. And whew, I'm excited, bro. I'm excited for that fight, man. Anyway, guys, overall, my final verdict for this episode is going to be a 10! Out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, man, this season's been full of nothing but bangers, in my personal opinion, man. And yeah, next week, that's going to be awesome. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. You like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on socials if you feel like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.